drivers talking about everyone wants sound bites. Everyone wants a small 2-minute video. Well, I can't, on the trucking videos, I can't promise I'm going to be giving you a 2-minute video. I'm putting information out there to be helpful, so they could be 15, they could be 20 minutes long. Okay, I can't promise that they're all going to be short. The information is what's important, and I think people who are getting into trucking or new to the industry and want to go on YouTube like what I did and looking up information and try to gather information, I don't think they're worried about how long the video is. I think they're serious about the information. They're willing to watch a video if it's informative. So just want to get that out of the way. With the trucking videos, they may be long at times. Sorry about that, but it's for the people out there that are really truly looking for the information. So anyway, the trucking videos are not, entertaining content necessarily. So I do plan to do some entertaining content. I also plan to do some vlogs, but that will be a couple months down the road. So I've been thinking about that too. Plan to do some challenges, things like that, hopefully. We'll see how it works. Anyway, I want to get into the topic at hand, and that is, should you get into trucking? Should you be a truck driver? For those of you out there who are wondering or wanting to know, who may be considering this as a job or a career, got some information that might be helpful to you. So I think the first thing, before you decide you want to do this, before you decide you want to go into this, I think there are some things you need to understand about the industry before just jumping into it. Things that I don't know if I fully understood when I jumped into it. And so basically what I'm going to do is we're going to go over the pros and the cons. I want to talk about the cons first, and then we'll talk about the pros last, so that way we can end the video on a positive note. So let's jump into that, shall we? There's a lot of things. Let's get a lot of cons. There's a lot of things I think need to be noted, and they may not necessarily be cons, some of them, but they're things that you should know and be prepared for before going to truck driving school or, committing to this. And one of them, let's get the major elephant out of the room. One of a couple elephants we're going to be addressing, and that is obviously you're going to be away from home, right? So that's number one. For those of you who are married, have wife, have a husband, have children, you need to consider this. Because depending on the company you go for, you could be away from home for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks, depending on how the company works it. Every company is a little bit different. So being away from home is definitely something to consider. Yes, I know there's local truck driving, and I'm going to say here that a majority of you are going to wind up OTR, which means over the road. So you're going to be traveling cross country, and you're going to be doing that for a good year or two before you get into local driving. Now, I know someone will be commenting in the comment section when I get more popular and these videos get out there more. Someone eventually will comment that, I fresh out of truck driving school and I found a local job. Yes, there are people that are fresh out of truck driving school that got a local job, and they're home every night, and they're off every weekend, and they work Monday through Friday, and it's just perfect. And yes, that's the exception, not the rule, okay? So I speak in a generality. I'm not saying it's not possible, but I'm saying don't count on it, all right? There's an exception to every rule, and I just don't have the time to go over every single exception, okay? So expect to be OTR, expect to go over the road. Meaning you're going to be away from home. And to put this more in perspective, that may mean you're not going to get to your daughter's preschool graduation ceremony, little preschool graduation ceremony. You're not going to be there for your daughter or your son's 10th birthday, maybe. That could mean you're going to miss out on a Christmas or two. Okay? These are things to remember. That may mean that you may not get to go to your son's Christmas play or whatever that he has going. Talent show, whatnot. So keep that in mind. Another thing is I want to talk about, it's another con, okay, that you need to consider, is, let's talk about the pay. Now you're thinking, well, the pay is a pro. Well, there is a pro to the pay, but there's also a con to the pay. Now, let me mention the pro first. That's the other big elephant in the room. I'm sorry, I don't know where to go with this right now. So the other big elephant is obviously you want the truck drive, right? Because you're going to make a lot of money. And that's true. Yeah, there's a lot of money to be made in this industry, no doubt. I made a mistake, folks. Hold on one sec. I'm sorry, but I gotta fix something. I did not mean to do that. And the effort to turn my air conditioner on, I accidentally turned the heat on as well. So both of them were going. I kept smelling like something was burning. And that's because my heater hasn't been ran in a while, and that must mean it was on, and it was. So I had to shut it off. I apologize about that. Anyway, so you can make a lot of money in this. There's no doubt. But a couple things about that. One is, don't come into this industry expecting to make $60,000-$70,000 your first year. Some of you might get in and have great luck your first year. The majority of you probably won't. I didn't. My first year was a struggle. My first year was a hard struggle. I did not do very well my first year. Not to mention, I was already behind on bills and things, and so I was already struggling financially coming into it. And then coming into it and expecting to make money right away really messed me over, because that's not what happened at all. I didn't start making good money until my second year. That's when I started noticing a difference. And part of that is because you know how to run. You know what to do. You know where to go. When you're new, you just take whatever load comes your way, and, you wind up kind of screwed. Because honestly, let's face it, the truck driving company, they're going to give the crappy loads to the new ones, because if the guys who've been out here a while aren't going to take them, So your first year is going to might be kind of crappy, and you're going to go to a lot of crappy areas. Yeah. And the company's gonna. The company knows that you don't know what you're doing at all, so they're going to get what they can out of you. It's just the fact of the matter. They're going to give you that crappy 400-mile load that's got 3 days to deliver it. And you're going to go 400, and you're going to take it. That's exactly what you're going to do. And you're going to go 400 miles, and you're going to sit 2 days on that load. And you're not going to know any different. They're going to send you to Queens. They're going to send you to Queens, New York. Right in the heart of New York City. And you're going to take it. Yeah, they're going to send you to Boston, Massachusetts, and to Philadelphia, some of the worst cities to have to go into. Yeah, that's right. That's exactly what they're going to do, and you're going to take it. And they're going to give you loads that are already late. And you're going to get there, and it's going to be late, and they're going to reject you. You're gonna sit another day waiting for that appointment time to be rescheduled. Yeah, so these are things you're gonna run into your first year, and it's not until you've been out here a while and you kind of know what to do and where to go that things start improving. Your second year, you have an idea oh, this isn't going to work. I can't do this. It's going to mess me up, you know. So you kind of have an idea, which makes things go a lot smoother. So don't expect to make a whole lot of money your first year. Not only that, even when you do start making money, or if you're one of the lucky ones who get out there and do very well their first year, and some people do, so don't lose all hope your first year, but I'm just want to give you a heads up. But if you are one of the lucky ones that do it successful your first year, one of your things you're going to have to get used to is your check is not going to be consistent. It's just not. Your check, you're going to go from $1,000 one week to $100 the next week. And so you're going to have to get used to that. In the long run, you'll make good money. In the short run, it can seem very crappy at times. And you're going to have to change the way you work your finances. You're going to have to completely change the way you do it and the way you think about things. Because it's not going to be like whatever job it is you're doing now, where, you work 40 hours a week and your check is almost the same. It may fluctuate by $30 or $40, maybe $100, but it's not going from $1,000 one week to the next week being only a $50 paycheck. Okay, and I'm telling you that there are times out here where, yes, your check can fluctuate that much. So when you get that $1,200 paycheck, you better be paying all your bills with it, and don't count on getting another $1,200 check the next week. You might go several weeks doing good, but then all of a sudden you'll have that one bad one. So that's kind of a con. I don't know if it's a con because it's something you can learn to work with, but I think it's something that you should think about. I think it's something you should know coming into the industry. Now, one of the other cons, and I think it's kind of a con in a way, but that's sleep. I don't know if this is a con. I don't know, but I want to mention it because I think it's something you should expect. Your sleep is not going to be always great. Sometimes you're going to be lacking. As a matter of fact, there are times where you're going to be severely lacking sleep out here. And you're not always going to be running in the daytime. You're not always going to be starting your day at 6, 7, 8 in the morning. There are times where your day is starting at 10 o'clock at night, or 1 o'clock in the morning, or 4 in the afternoon, or 7 at night. It could start any time. And it's constantly going to be changing depending on when the load picks up and when you got to deliver it. A lot of loads deliver at like 2 in the morning, So you got to get your hour. Here you are driving this perfect, leaving at 6 in the morning, and you get there and now, your load delivers. So now somewhere along that trip, your load delivers at like 2 in the morning. So somewhere along that trip, you got to get your hours turned around, right? Because you can't be leaving at 6 in the morning for, what I'm saying? So things like that to expect being out here. Another thing too is that you may not always get home exactly when you want to get home. That's another kind of a con for some people. It doesn't bother me necessarily because if I get home and I get home, but I guess, sometimes you're going to run into situations where you just, whatever reason, something goes wrong on that load and you're stuck for another 2 or 3 days before you can actually get home. That can happen. So that's another thing to think about. Now, what are some of the pros? Well, there's a lot of pros. There's, obviously you're going to make more money. That's a major pro. Another major pro is you're on your own out here for the most part. You're kind of your own boss. You can do your own thing. You're not micromanaged. You don't have a manager breathing down your back every 5 minutes. For the most part, and I'll say, I can't speak for all companies, but the company I work for, which I drive for Stevens Transport, for those, I was going to do a reveal video on that, and then I kind of decided not to. So maybe this is my reveal video, but that's who I work for. That's who I drive for. I will probably do a review of Stevens Transport and what I think about the company. So that could be coming up. That's something to do. Just not thought of that. So that's a good video idea. So I'll be probably having that come up at some time in the near future. But anyway, I drive for Stevens Transport. They've overall done me pretty well. I don't have really any complaints. And they've overall done well on getting me home on time, too, by the way, because we were just talking about that. So I don't have any complaints on that either. So they've done well on that. Now, as far as the micromanaging part goes, they leave me alone out here. For the most part, I don't hear from them hardly ever. They just kind of let me do my thing as long as, I'm not doing stupid crap to purposely make the load late, They pretty much leave you alone. So that's kind of nice. That makes it nice. Which leads me to another con that I forgot to mention. And that's kind of a big one, so I'm going to park it on this for a minute. And that is being alone. Now, for some of us, that doesn't bother us. Some people it does. If you're one that doesn't like being alone, this is probably not a job for you. Yeah, you can do team driving, but I should do a whole video on team driving because there's a lot of issues that can come out of it. Personally, I don't recommend team driving unless you're someone that you can just get along with anybody you're stuck with. I don't know. I don't recommend it, but maybe I'll do another video on team driving. I think that'll be a whole nother video. But team driving aside, you're going to be alone for long periods of time. And let me put this into perspective how it can actually get to you out here. I am not one that's ever been bothered by being alone. I've always been kind of that way. I like being alone. I spent my teenage years locked in my room. I didn't have most of you guys were out partying and doing things behind your parents' back and doing all sorts of selling your wild oats and being crazy and doing all sorts of stuff that your parents probably still don't know about to this day. I wasn't out there doing any of that. Okay? I was in my room. If I wasn't in school, I was in my room. I'd come out to eat dinner and I'd go back to my room. So I lived my teenage years in my room. I've always just been... I had friends, but I only hung out with them maybe once a week, and that was about it. I didn't need to be with them all the time. I didn't need to always be with a friend. As a matter of fact, sometimes I had friends that were kind of overbearing because I always wanted to hang out, and I just didn't. So anyway, I was never, was never a big social. I've always been an introvert, a big introvert, huge introvert. Now, coming out here, I loved it, and it's been great. This job has been amazing. But within this last year, 2020, within the year 2020, it started bothering me being alone. And I guess it had its negative effects on me. When you see, for me, let me express my experience with it. I started, things that wouldn't typically bother me started bothering me. Like seeing pictures of friends or a family posted on Facebook of them getting together and doing fun things, and I'm out here driving, started to really wear on me. Like I just didn't even want to go on Facebook because I was tired of seeing it. And it was bothering me, and it would bring me down. These are things that I kind of noticed over the last year. And still to this day, I see pictures or of family get-togethers or friends or whatnot on Facebook, having a good time, it has lately just had the tendency to just kind of bring me down because I'm not a part of it. So that's how it can even get to a guy like me, a major introvert. It took 3.5 years, but it got to me eventually. And I can't imagine for people who are, who already don't like being alone, who've been out here and doing this for years. You have to watch it. And you need to watch your mental state, because let me tell you something, depression is very high amongst truck drivers. Very, very high. Now, I will not consider myself suffering from depression in any way, shape, or form. Overall, I'm pretty happy out here, except for the occasional just wishing I could do things, wishing I was with friends, or wishing I was with family. I have, family I haven't seen in a while, and that can sometimes, get to you. So part of that could be my fault. I run along. I'm out here, I'm out here 3 months at a time. As a matter of fact, a couple years ago, I was out for 6 months straight. And most truck drivers don't do that. So, anyway, I probably haven't helped myself on that, but still, it can get to you. It can get to you. So could be a major con, something to definitely consider. Outside of that, I don't have any more cons. I think I've named all the pros. Like I said, you're your own manager. The pay is good. Hey, you get another major pro. You get to see things you'll never get to see otherwise. You get to see the country. Okay? You get to see the country. And a lot of beautiful places. You're going to drive through a lot of beautiful places. I think that's a major pro. Speaking of driving, I think that's also something you need to consider. If you're not one that likes to drive, then this is probably not the job for you. I think one of the biggest things, one of the biggest qualities you need, and the most important quality you need to be a truck driver, is you need to be someone who likes driving, and you need to be someone who likes long distance trips. I've known people throughout my life that hate driving and that hate even just leaving town. Even a 45-minute road trip is too much for them. I've known people like that. If you're one of those, I don't recommend truck driving at all. Okay? Just stay away from it. So you need to ask yourself, do you like driving? Do you enjoy road trips? Do you enjoy being behind the wheel? Let me tell you something. You're going to be behind the wheel about 10.5 hours every single day. Okay? You're going to have breaks. You're going to have like your 30-minute break or whatnot. But, that's 5.5, 6, 7 hours. And then you're going to take a 30-minute break, and then you're going to run for another 3, 4, or 5 hours. So you're going to be behind the wheel. As a matter of fact, you're going to be behind the wheel more. You're going to be up here behind the wheel more than you are back there. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah. So just something to consider. And so you might want to like traveling. It's something definitely a quality I think you should possess. Enjoy driving. Enjoy traveling. And they can be fun. It can be great out here, You see a lot of great things, and you can really have a blast out here if you possess the right qualities. Outside of that, I can't think of anything else that I need to cover. I think that pretty much covers it all. There are some other things I want to talk about, but I think I should save those for their own video instead of including them on this. I think they should be in their own video. I do, real quick, and this is kind of segue into my next video, I think. And that is, I kind of want to talk about some things to think about. So you've gone over this, all these pros and cons, all these things I've talked about so far. You've heard me out. You're considering them, right? You decide, okay, this is something I want to do. And then your question is, what's the next step after that? Well, the next step after that is probably, well, obviously, you're going to need to go to truck driving school, right? But before you even do that, you need to figure out who you're going to work for. And I'll be going over that option because there are a couple options. You can go to truck driving school, then get hired with a company, or you can find a company that will put you through truck driving school. I'll talk about all that on another video. But you need to figure out who you're going to work for. And these are things you need to consider. So that's something to consider. And I would not just go with any company. You need to make sure the company is going to best fit you. I'm not going to get into a whole lot of details with that. I'm going to save all that for another video. But if you've decided at this point, this is where you want to go, this is what you want to do, then you need to do some research into other companies. Now, not all companies hire, students fresh out of school. So you need to find, most companies require experience. You need to find the companies that will hire you fresh out of school, and you need to investigate all of them and then decide which one's going to work best for you. Okay? I do want to discourage real quick. There's a lot of, if you search YouTube hard enough, you're going to see a lot of talk about which company is better. And I don't think there really is such thing as a perfect company. There's no such thing as one company being better for another. It's whatever, the company that's better for me may not be a good option for you. They may not, the way they operate, the way they work, the way their hometown works, they may not be able to fit the needs that you need, the needs that you're looking for, okay? So it really comes down to what works best for you. You're not getting involved in the whole, this company's the best company to work for because this guy on YouTube said it is. No. You need to investigate yourself, and you need to find out what works best for you, right? That's the best advice I can give you. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that one company is better than the other because that's, what works best. Stevens works great for me. I've been with them for 4 years. I have no problems with them. That doesn't mean that they're going to work good for you. That doesn't mean they're a good company for you. You need to investigate. There's companies out there. There's Swift. There's CR England. I know, CR England used to take you fresh out of school. I'm pretty sure they still do. I know Swift does. So there are other, CRST takes you fresh out of school. You need to look into these companies and find out, what works best for you. Outside of that, I think I'm going to end this video. I don't know how long it is. I should be I need to buy me like a little clock and keep it up here so I know how long I'm running. Because I'll talk and talk and talk. Next thing I know, the video is 45 minutes long. I hope that's not the case right now. So if it is, I'm sorry, folks. Like I said, I won't know until I end the video and take a look at it. Anyway, that's it. I promise you I'll upload more videos. I got more coming. Got more trucking videos. I also got maybe some review videos, huh? Yeah, I got some reviews that maybe I'll do. Some different things. Yeah, I think I'm looking at doing that. Also, outside of the trucking videos, another video I want to do is I'm going to do a video on the future of my channel. I'm just going to, because it's going to go through a change a little bit. Right now I'm attacking the trucking thing real hardcore. I have a reason why I'm doing that. I'll get all that out. Now, there'll be some days where I'll have time to record multiple videos, and if I can do that, then I'll record a trucking video and then something else. So there'll be a little bit of something for everybody, but I can't always promise that. Anyway, I really need to end this video before it gets too long and no one wants to watch it and I'm boring. So anyway, that's that. You guys all take care out there, and I will see you guys on the next video.